It's great to be with you. Tonight, we're going to have not a lecture exactly, but a discussion, or a lecture with discussion, about one moral dilemma that looms very large in our society today. It's the subject of the new book. The question is simple to state, but not so easy to answer. What role should money and markets play in our society? Today, there are very few things that money can't buy. If you happen ever to be convicted to a jail sentence in Santa Barbara, California, just in case, you might like to know that if you don't like the standard accommodations, you can buy a prison cell upgrade. How much do you suppose it costs? Anyone? $50? $250? It's $82 a night. Or suppose you want to contribute to the alleviation of a tragic social ill. The birth, each year, of thousands of babies to drug-addicted women. There's a charity you can contribute to that tries to address this problem by offering a $300 cash incentive to any drug-addicted woman willing to be sterilized. A market incentive. Or suppose you're a college student, you want to make some cash. There are advertisers who are looking for advertising space on your forehead. A few years ago, a London ad agency began recruiting college students to wear tattoo ads on their foreheads for company logos, that kind of thing. Now, these were temporary tattoos. They were willing to pay each student £4.20 an hour to display the ads. One potential sponsor praised the idea, saying that the forehead ads were an extension of the sandwich board, but a bit more organic. And some have taken this idea further. There was one woman, a single mother, who needed money to support the education of her son, who auctioned off for $10,000 access on her forehead to any company willing to pay $10,000. The winning bid came from an online casino, and lo and behold, she now carries a permanent tattoo ad for the online casino. The past 3 decades have seen a quiet revolution, almost without realizing it. We've drifted from having a market economy to becoming a market society. The difference is this: a market economy is a tool, a valuable and effective tool for organizing productive activity. A market society is different. It's a place where almost everything is up for sale. It's a way of life where market values seep into almost every domain of life. Now, there are some things money can't buy, even if it tries. Friendship, for example. Suppose you want more friends than you have. You've not succeeded in acquiring them in the usual way. It might occur to you to buy some. But then you would probably quickly realize that it wouldn't work. But why not? It's an interesting philosophical question why it wouldn't work. But somehow we sense that a hired friend, a bought friend, is not the same as the real thing. Somehow the money that would buy the good dissolves the very thing we're aiming at. There are many goods that money can buy, but arguably shouldn't. And there are lots of intermediate cases. Consider expressions of friendship. Wedding toasts. How many here at one time or another have been asked to give a wedding toast at a friend's wedding? More than a handful. Now, for some, this can be an anxiety-inducing request. It isn't easy to write an eloquent and moving and funny wedding toast. Today, there's help. If you don't feel you're very good at writing a wedding toast for your friend, you can buy one online. One of these websites that offers them for sale is called theperfecttoast.com. You go online, you enter some information about the couple, how they met, how you came to know them, whether you want a funny wedding toast or a tearjerker. And within 3 business days, they will send you a custom-written wedding toast for how much do you suppose? $10? $50? This is a custom-made wedding toast. It's $149, including shipping and handling. Now, a wedding toast, then, is something that money can buy online for $149, but is it as good as an authentic wedding toast? Here's one way of testing this. Suppose at your wedding, your best friend delivered a moving wedding toast, so moving that it brought tears to your eyes. And then later you learned that he or she had bought it online. How would you feel? Would the wedding toast have less value, less meaning, once you learned that? What would you say? Yes. Yeah, probably yes. No? You wouldn't care? You're not in the business by any chance, are you? Why would it mean less? Well, in a way, it's sort of like the friendship case. When you discover that money has bought the thing, somehow the value and meaning of it is diminished. Not completely, especially if you don't know about it, but it's somehow degraded. The meaning is eroded by the purchase and sale. And this is true of many goods and social practices. And it's worth thinking about why, how this happens exactly, and what should be the consequences for the use we make of market mechanisms, of buying and selling. Take books. Now, books have always been commodities in a way, market goods, in the sense that you can't walk into a bookshop and walk out with the book. You have to pay for it. So books are market goods, but only up to a point. You can see this if you consider the practice of product placement. It's familiar in movies and in television shows, but we don't normally see product placement in books until recently. The novelist Fay Weldon, have you heard of her? Well-known novelist. A few years ago, she entered into a deal with Bulgari Jewelry Company to write a novel with paid product placement. She agreed to mention Bulgari at least a dozen times in exchange for a fee in her novel. The title of her book, aptly enough, was The Bulgari Connection. And she exceeded the required number of product references, mentioning Bulgari 34 times. Now, some critics complained about the clunkiness of the product-laden prose. I'll read you a line of the dialogue. You'll see what I mean. Quote, "A Bulgari necklace in the hand is worth 2 in the bush," said Doris. Or here's another one. "They snuggled together happily for a bit, all passion spent, and she met him at Bulgari that lunchtime." Fortunately, product placement in books has not really caught on, but I suspect that the experience of reading will be brought in closer and closer proximity to commercial advertising with the advent and the growing prominence of digital readers, electronic readers. Last year, Amazon issued 2 versions of its popular Kindle reader. One of them is the standard version, and the other, for $40 less, you can buy the same Kindle, provided you're willing to have commercial ads running on the home page and on the screensaver. Would it be worth it for $40? How many would go for that deal? A few people would. Some of the younger people in the audience.